Patience, Arwa.
وهي مين أمه؟
هي جوا.
عن جد سويتوها؟
أي والله العظيم.
Baby Arwa was so oblivious, just sleeping peacefully, but what kind of an Iraq was she going to grow up in?
Arwa has a voice, a very unique voice, and it's one that genuinely cares about people, and I think that's reflected not just in her journalism but in her charity work. She doesn't do this because for the fame or for being on TV. She does it because she genuinely wants the world to care for people as much as she cares for people.
People here are so angry, so upset. They can't believe that this is happening to them in Europe. Everyone who we've been speaking to here has been stuck in these conditions for the last 4 days.
Arwa, ever since she was 3 years old, displayed a great deal of empathy. I took her to visit a group of Palestinian children, burnt children, and instead of shying away from them, she insisted on sharing and giving them her toys. Bicultural, bilingual, guts with a big heart, self-challenging. I could only predict that my daughter would become a journalist,
Surprise attacks.
not knowing that she would end up a war correspondent.
This was one of Boko Haram's positions. That's what the soldiers were just yelling.
Covering conflicts is as long as she has, and as long as we have, realized that there are a lot of great charities out there, but there was a hole and there was a gap and there was a space she could fill and something she could do.
What inspired you to nominate her for the Humanitarian Award?
Well, of course, when I met Arwa, I was very impressed with her courage as a journalist, but it was really her moral courage that really impressed me. I learned after meeting Arwa that she had started a foundation called the INARA Foundation, and it supports children who are suffering in conflict zones. And so I had been looking for and doing a little research on organizations or nonprofits that I could contribute to that I felt like aligned with Jim's values.
But it started back in 2007 when I met a little Iraqi boy named Yusuf who was just 5 years old at the time, and he'd been horrifically burnt by masked men. When we did his story, there was this outpouring of support and empathy that led to him getting medical assistance in Los Angeles. And that made me realize that this was something that could be tapped into, because sometimes the journalism, just reporting a story, it's not enough. There is more that can and should be done. And this is what Jim also believed, which is one of the many reasons why this particular award holds such profound meaning for me.
What mother would not be so honored and so proud to have such an unusual child, determined to give meaning to her life through her altruistic contributions to humanity.
I just think what Arwa's doing is pretty incredible. And I also think, Jim would be both humbled and honored that Arwa's accepting an award like this.